寝てたの？もう、早ない？ちょっと意味が。おい。お疲れ。
あれ
あ、
林呼んだんですよね。俺のことは。
多分俺じゃねえかな。どっちかわかんねえわ。ですって。
だからいいやって。
そういうこと？
うん。
やってこい、バチコリ。
なんだろう、横が合わねえのかな。
昨日はランク買ったの？
いいの？おう？
うん。昨日なんかランク行ってなかったっけみんなで。
昨日、ランク行って、いや、なんか、途中で、勝てねえ、泣いたっつって。
やめたの？
俺がいや、やめてないっすよ。ソロラン行って、結局マッチして、その後寝ましたよ。昨日めっちゃ負けたんすよね。
マジで？
負けたね
あ、パイに下がってんのかよ、お前。カス。おい、カス。
いや、パイには下がってないっすよ。
パイには下がってないの？
はい、俺普通にボルツリーで行ったんだけど。
なるほどね。パイには、カナリアボール3より、敏感な子なんやから。
確かに敏感です。パイには。
すぐ落ちるから。メンタル
いやー。まあ、けど、気づかんだったら、多分熊さんだな。
気遣う？何の話？
昨日のランクで。熊さんなんか、しょげてたから、昨日。
ああ、まだ、熊さん、だいぶハゲてたね。
やらかしてんのか。
昨日すげえハゲてて。逆に俺、結構キルできて負けてたんで。俺は泣いて。
それでも俺は泣いたって言うからだよ。
熊さんは、はぁーつって。いや、俺が足引っ張ってるから否めないんで、つって。アルランク行き始めた。いや、だってさ、あの赤しかないからさ、上がる見込みあるの。
どれで行ったの？最初は。
ERFHL ってやつです。プラ2で上がり幅が4、80あるアカウントだったんで、いけんだろって思って。昨日連敗して、次負けたらプラ3ぐらいまで来ちゃって。寝てやつって。
昨日パラヘンもいたよね。
いなかった。
あ、い
や、多分俺はね、だったからね、その後に来たんじゃないかな。ランク行こうぜ。
行ってわ。
ランク行こうぜ。ランク行こうぜ。
あ、カナリアン誘われてんぞ。面白いよね。
招待飛んでます？
送ってはない。
高等手に立つ。
おい、エコーしてるカナリア早く行くぞ。
いや、そんなエコーしてんの？
でも、敵は残り3人だから聞こえる。
拾ってんのかな、マイク、これ。
俺パンを食いながら金をどうぞ。
これで普通にエコーしてんの？
いや、今してない。
あ、そうだ。伸ばせかす。やるんじゃない？人数集まるんじゃないの？黒猫。でも、9時からエマノン、クマ、トラが来るから、9時からできるでしょ。あ、俺やんなくちゃいけないことがあるから。ほら。宇宙船に電力供給しないといけないから。しないです。いや、観戦はね、あれ一人でやっても寂しいだけってことに俺前回で気づいてるから。パパンあ、ランクいけよ。エリーゴーじゃねえんだよ。
Unexpected. Investigating.
Everyone all right?
お前ない。
no, just leave me alone. Get away!
아, 기병군이 열릴 뻔했어.
You're not real. You're not real. Get away from me, Phantom. Shoot! Scram! Most people? But I'm the only one left. No. Remember your first rule? See? Clearly, I mistook you for one of the phantoms of my... Chester D. Higgins. The D stands for definitely not insane. I use it as a reminder. Hard to say. By my reckoning, Higgins has been here somewhere between 2 weeks and forever. My recollection's a touch fuzzy these days. Oh, Higgins has been many things over the years. Sprat Wrangler, Saltuna Critic. I've come a long way for... I specialized in automechanicals. Look, I don't want to fall into any trouble with the mechanical... You know, you remind me of myself back when I was in it. I discovered a flaw. Their hostility levels were... Yes, that's exactly it. I see. There's a behavior control terminal in the other room. Oh, that reminds me. You'll need my passcode to access the tail. Jimmy'd open the vending machine. Mechanicals lost their... You mean, why did the mechanic... I was on cleaning duty at the time.
Dang, that's impressive. Mind steam, you're liable to get scalded.
Processing data. Sweeping the area.
Coming! Advance line! Down they go! Oh! Everyone all right?
あるよ。
Once we do this, there's no going back. Three switches. That'll be easy enough. the last. Hey, mister? Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but do you understand? I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. Edgewater's hurting. We've been losing workers year after year, and corporate... But the town's got some good people in it. Well, that sure sounds like Mr. Thompson. If he was standing here, I imagine he'd remind us of how we're all one big, happy... In Mr. Thompson's eyes, those deserters are still part of the Spacer's Choice family. The family must work to... I hate to say it, but I think Mr. Thompson's got a point. Unless those deserters come back, Edgewater's as good as dead. Miss McDevitt's built something beautiful. Somehow, she's talked the... It's plain to see she's made the Vale a better place. Fed the hungry, tended the sick, but Miss McDevitt delights in Edgewater's suffering. She wants to hurt the town. Do you really want to be party to that? Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on like that. Really? I think you did the rightest thing you could sending the power back to Edgewater. A lot of people would have... Oh, that's Thomas. He used to follow me around before he left the cannery.
Keep your wits about
What
you,
happened?
friend.
Sprat fell into a transformer again? I don't know what you did to... That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and roasted you on a spit. This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me, why did you do it? You want my flock wasting their lives in that cannery? Fine. Go and talk to them. Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them their life here is over, and the only thing left to do is go back to Edgewater. This is now your responsibility. And you tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. I would rather die among my flowers than live under his management. My son worked in that cannery. When the plague started coming, he was one of the first to fall sick. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine would have been wasted on him. So I buried my boy in the cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left. That's as much of the story as you need to hear. You offering to cross Reed off, huh? This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or you just looking for a chance to sow some chaos? Kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same four walls together. Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden right in the cannery. 3 square meals for every man and woman in Edgewater. Tell him how I've made the Vale bloom again. The soil has whispered its secrets to me, and I alone know how to breathe life back into the earth. The secret is human corpses. I've been grinding them up in my fertilizer for years. Marauder, worker, don't matter much to me. The human body is rich with nutrients. Edgewater Cemetery's got corpses aplenty, enough for a generation's worth of crops.
Great work!
think you're tough, waving that thing around? This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our town like a cool stream of water. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So, when can I expect them back at their posts? Go ahead. Can we not? Talking about unpleasant things always gets my bile up. If I had enough medicine to treat everyone who fell sick, I would, but I don't. I can't save everyone. So I have to choose. Adelaide's son was barely competent. I treat him with our medical rations, and it looks like I'm playing favorites. Now, I will not pretend to understand the suffering Adelaide must have felt on account of losing her child, but she is not the only one to have felt such suffering. I wish she had stayed with us. Adelaide left us when we needed her most. That I cannot say. There was no moment when the plagues began. Disease always lurks on the fringes of society, waiting to infect the idle and the lethargic. But in the last 10 years, the plagues have become progressively worse and increasingly frequent. Corporate doesn't like us using the word should. It encourages the imagination. I believe plague is a test. It is a test of our loyalty and our fortitude, and it is one we will see through to the end. Go ahead. It is my job to keep two eyes on my town. I am the steward of this place, and this is my watch post. This is a Spacer's Choice town. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family here. The company keeps us warm, keeps us fed, keeps us working. Loyalty's got nothing to do with it, friend. This is good old-fashioned gratitude. I wish you wouldn't say things like that. I expect you wouldn't understand. You don't see the town as I do. When I stand at my window and look out over my town, here's what I see. I see decent, loyal, hard-working people. I see a family. We are all part of the Spacer's Choice family. We are all doing what we were brought into this world to do. I'm trying to remember 25 years, 26. When you get to my age, the years just rush by. You stop counting altogether. I remember looking out this window and seeing the veils spread out from horizon to horizon. We were a sprawling town. We were booming. Times change, people change, but the veil will always be here. Spacer's Choice will always be here. Our work won't ever end. I take comfort in that. Go ahead. Adelaide was our only flavor specialist. We are a Saltuna canning institution. Saltuna without flavor is like a cysty pig without tumors, borderline inedible. Begging your pardon, Saltuna is a staple in the diet of any self-respecting spacer. Were it up to me, friend, I'd stack our larders with Saltuna galore. No other brand of Saltuna adds as much vim or vigor to the body's humors. But, and this is something we must keep between the two of us, Saltuna is hard to come by, what with being a species indigenous to the seas of another world. Oh, we've scavenged together some organic material from the surrounding environs. Mostly organic, mostly local mushrooms. Some of which possess a texture akin to a well-boiled slab of Saltuna. The difference is all but impossible to detect to any but the prissiest of palate. Go ahead. That you are not one of us may work to your advantage. Adelaide and her folk loathe the people of Edgewater, you see. I admit the fault was mine. I'm about as diplomatic as a bristling canid. I just hope Adelaide and her folk will see their way past my flaws and return to town. Nature is uglier. There is safety here. Safety and purpose. But not all of us see that, and I cannot force that vision upon them. Yes, we have lost good workers to desertion. We have lost even more to plague. But it is why we must square our shoulders and carry on. Losing Adelaide was the hardest. She was our only flavor specialist. When she walked away, I knew we were in trouble. Spacer's Choice Saltuna is renowned across the system for its quality flavors and additives. We used to sell citrus-flavored Saltuna in our heyday. Ever since Adelaide left, we have been reduced to selling unflavored and spearmint. Go ahead. Can we not? I appreciate. Then we are at an impasse. Stewardship over this town has been... I am not perfect. I have made my share of mistakes. I am a Spacer's Choice man. My father was a Spacer's Choice man. Edgewater may not look like much to some buttoned-up freelancer, but it is my home. I don't believe you. Plague's a reality of life. Best treatment is a good work ethic. The very notion is just grotesque. A raw vegetable? Why don't you just ask me to go chew the bark off of a tree? We are a Spacer's Choice Saltuna cannery. We eat Saltuna here, and only Saltuna. I don't understand. You say Adelaide's growing her own food. But that should not be possible. The soil's gone sour. Company said as much. Our own botanists couldn't grow decent crops for us, so the company got rid of them and shut down the greenhouse. You'll excuse me for being skeptical. How exactly is Adelaide growing crops in barren soil? If Adelaide's found a way to feed her people and cure the plague, then she deserves this office more than I do. I won't stand in her way. My life here is ended. Give me a little time to settle my affairs. I'm sure Adelaide will be glad to see the back of me. I have always tried to do right by my town. It has never been easy. A couple months ago, I might have put in for a transfer. It's a big colony. Spacer's Choice has other towns. Now, I couldn't show my face in any of them. No such thing as an honorable resignation. Suppose I could find a place outside the walls, or put in for early retirement. I don't know. I could see myself lasting a week. I do. Adelaide's found a cure for the plague, and she knows how to tend to crop. She's what this town needs. I already told you I'm leaving.
You some sort of freelancer?
Some hullheads running around town talking about lost colonies.
Look at that. The snake's come back. I never thought I'd see the day that Reed Thompson abandoned his post. Suppose we all have a breaking point. Suppose it's time our flock made our way back to Edgewater. We must tend to what remains of the town and carry on with our lives as best we may. You're vexing to me, you know? Injuring us with one hand, helping us with the other. Here, I'm giving you something to leave us. This don't put us on even footing, you understand? I might turn that old cannery into a garden. I need some time to gather my personals. Long walk.
Marauders can't see it. Didn't think she'd go back so long as If Adelaide's going back...
I'm glad Adelaide's... What's on your mind? Couple months. This camp's my home. I owe them my life. We all left the cannery for one reason or another. I mean, I was...
You weren't incompetent. You just didn't fit the cannery.
You could stay, you know. Here.
Zoe says she fought her way out.
Home is where the heart is. Marauders took that saying a little too literally. How do you expect me to enjoy the adventures of
Keep
the
your
mass
wits about you,
marketeer
friend.
with
I know, I'm trying to think.
Food's bound. Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling. Well, it's kind of you to say that. And you're right. I wasn't happy. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves for my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think? Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, mister. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and click.
Captain, I have detected that Edgewater's power supply is now optimal. I applaud your willingness to invest your time in the local community. What can I do for you, Captain? Do you know how to install a power regulator? Outstanding, Captain. Your aptitude for engineering will prove invaluable in the event of another catastrophic engine failure. Our engine room is located behind you, across the cargo bay, up the ladders. What can I do for you, Captain? All systems are operating within acceptable parameters. I am prepared to bring the unreliable into low-altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities.
I find myself marveling at the complex simplicity of the Fibonacci. Something...
Welcome back, Captain. All systems are now... We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Aha, there you are. Hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain. Horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any, unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you. What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Culkelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay. In theory, I suppose you could land your ship in Cascadia, and in theory, I suppose you might survive the experience. Cascadia is utterly seething with dangerous, highly aggressive creatures, more than capable of tearing you limb from limb. You'd have to be a lunatic to land in Cascadia, and I'm reasonably certain I tested your brain for incipient signs of insanity. Trust me, talk to Gladys Culkelly. Captains don't fly their own ships, you see. Your navigation terminal handles the, navigation. Think of a nav key as a set of flight instructions. The board's been confiscating nav keys for Stellar Bay, so we must rely on unconventional means. Gladys and I have been doing business for... Without a skip drive? Good luck. You'll be dead before you... Look, I admire your optimism, but the sad truth is you're stuck here. None of us are leaving Halcyon alive, so we may as... Excellent. I'll send... By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus. I call it the holographic shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably... Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get... And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over. The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony...
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart.
Yes, you caught me. What's
Please keep arms and legs away from the turbine.
Something busted, Captain?
We are now in orbit above Edgewater, Captain. Welcome back, Cap. How can I... The unit is a cleaning SAM. Hawthorne brought it on board some cycles ago. Alex likely recorded progress notes detailing his efforts to modify. If you check the terminal in your captain's quarters, I request you... We are now in orbit above Edgewater, Captain.
林大会は基本的に3時半集合だよ。エマちゃんこんばんは。3時半だよ。林以外は。あ、林は。林以外は、もうちょっと遅くても大丈夫。だから3時半でしょ。3時はエントリー開始じゃない。エントリーっていうか、チェックイン。私は行けません。行けません。行けん？実家に帰らせていただきます。
Never keep your wits about you.